Liverpool face Manchester United on Super Sunday. Both teams needing to find some form. Liverpool were on a 3-game losing run after falling to a dramatic late defeat to Chelsea in the final game before the international break, while Manchester United eased some of their scrutiny on Ruben Amorim beating Sunderland. He's chasing his first successive league wins with victory at Anfield. Right, Leanne, more on Manchester United later on, but on Liverpool, how surprised have you been with their drop in form?
Yeah, I mean, obviously people that know me know how much I love Man United, but I love football. I love players like Mo Salah, a lot of the clubs I like Van Dijk, individually. But I think, no winning 3 for them now, and it was a real turning point. I did the game at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace, and there were some decisions that Arne Slot made in that game. At half-time, he took off Conor Bradley. Szoboszlai went out to right back in that position, and then about 20 minutes into the game, he brought Frimpong on, and then put Szoboszlai back into the midfield. Now, he took out Wirtz in the last game, which everyone's been talking about. He needs to come out the team. He's trying to... But it's almost like, does he know his best team this year? Does he have too many options? Cody Gakpo, I think, has been good since coming off the bench. Isak hasn't really got going yet fully. But I think, you look at this Liverpool squad, they're quality. But players like McAllister are not having their best season. Mo Salah. I was one of those people last year that was like, give Mo Salah whatever he wants. Give him a 10-year contract. I love Mo Salah. What a player he is. But he isn't performing this year. And it's like one of those things where you don't think, someone's got a new contract. Mesut Ozil used to do it all the time at Arsenal. He'd get, contract would be up for negotiations and have a form of their life and then they drop off. I don't think Mo Salah is in that same boat. And there are some players who don't drop, and I understand. But the game against Crystal Palace that I was at, I was like, Mo Salah's not even trying to get into this game. Doesn't really fancy it. Going up against Tyreek Mitchell, Mark Gahey in that position. So, I don't know. Liverpool are still in second. They're still, for me, title contenders, obviously, but it hasn't been great of late. But I think Arne Slot's a top manager, winning the league in his first year at Liverpool. That does help. But yeah, I have no doubt that they'll find their way because they have top players. But trying to fit certain players in certain areas, Kirkes, I think, has been poor since coming from Bournemouth. I think he's been really poor. And I think making those decisions to play those players and benching certain... Konate isn't having a great season. So there's a lot of out-of-form players. And that's what I see right now. But I don't think it's a crisis or anything like that.
Well, let's get to a Liverpool fan then and get their views on this, because Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their clubs. Let's speak to Liverpool supporter Peter Bolston. Now, Peter, good to see you again. Let's look ahead, first of all, to Sunday's game, because it's worth looking forward to a few days in advance, because it's a massive one. Good time or bad time to face them?
Well, I think she just outlined it's a very good time to play Liverpool, but I think it's a very good time to play Man United. They're a mess at the moment, and Liverpool, it's a big name, isn't it, to go and beat? And if we take advantage of that, they're a bit like an old heavyweight on the last legs. Liverpool win on Sunday, it puts that confidence and rhythm back into the team, and I fully expect them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'm a United fan, I still think Liverpool will beat us. I'm still worried about Liverpool. We are poor. There's no denying that, but I still feel like Liverpool are far on a completely different level. I mean, it's a massive rivalry. We never really like going to Anfield, apart from years ago when John O'Shea scored the winner there. But other than that, we don't have great luck there. So I'm not feeling good about the weekend, from a United perspective. Yeah,
Pete, do you see the same gap as Leanne's saying now between the two clubs?
Yeah, it's catastrophic, the gap. It's a massive chasm. Liverpool are light years ahead of Man United. They shouldn't even be in the same conversation. I think it's just that historical names now that is the reason why Man United couldn't even envisage getting in the top 5 for the Champions League, never mind being in the same conversation as Liverpool.
Have you got any question marks at the moment over Arne Slot? I'm certainly not saying to replace Arne Slot, but have you got some questions for him right now?
I think for what he's done and he's come in, he's been an absolute class act since the beginning of last season. He's won the Premier League in his first season. Not many managers do that. How he handled the contract saga last season was great. What he'd done over the summer and how he was so dignified and how he handled everything in that horrible situation has been fantastic. I think just a nitpick a little bit this season. I do agree that he has changed a lot of in-game decisions. So I know that we've brought in a lot of players in the summer and you have to make changes, but it is in-game decision making, which has sort of baffled me a little bit against Chelsea. We changed 3 of the back 4 in that game, and I don't really think you should be doing that, despite yellow cards or not. If you can't trust the footballer to not get a second yellow card, then he shouldn't be playing on the pitch in the first instance, because it's not the first time he's taken a fullback off the season after getting booked.
We've talked a lot about how much money Liverpool spent, and we've also talked about, you offset some of that with a lot of sales as well. But Alexander Isak, a huge signing, it hasn't worked out just yet. Are you worried about that in any way? And if not, how long will it take for him to properly get up to speed? Because you've signed him to score the goals to win you the title.
Absolutely no worry whatsoever. I think there's a lot of the narratives coming from a lot of Newcastle fans online, and there's a certain reporter in the northeast who was very upset over the summer. So that narrative that Alexander Isak is failing is beyond me. So I think he's got 1 goal in 9 games with club and country.
Yes.
Sweden are not very good. Let's put that right. And Liverpool haven't been very good since he's come into the side. He's just finding fitness. He's just played 2 back-to-back 90 minutes. So I will be judging Alexander Isak over the coming weeks. And Liverpool fans are notoriously supportive, and they love the number 9s. I fully expect them to show the real Alexander Isak over the coming weeks.
Can I just say, Tom, as well, is it a concern for you that there's so many kind of out-of-form players? Because obviously I've no doubt individually you have fantastic players, but there's a lot of players that kind of haven't been at it this year. Look at Mo Salah, McAllister. A lot of people are saying Mo Salah should be dropped. A lot of fans are saying he shouldn't. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it is a bit of a concern, but it's very disjointed. So when we brought players into the team, and we've changed 4 or 5 players of the actual starting outfield 10. So it's disjointed all over the pitch. So if you think about Mohamed Salah, he hasn't got Trent Alexander-Arnold behind him. Szoboszlai was on that right-hand side as well, so he hasn't had that connection. On the left-hand side, you said, Kirkes, so he's new on that left-hand side. McAllister's not been playing well. But then your left-hand side, you're missing Luis Diaz. So there's lots of balance issues which need to be rectified. But yeah, it is a little bit of a concern. But when people say about dropping Mo Salah, who are we putting in, by the way? Because there isn't no one to put there. So I really don't understand anyone who says, let's drop him. Because, again, who are we putting in?
Yeah, I wouldn't be dropping him.
But is that an issue, though? Because over the summer, everybody said Liverpool were 1 short at centre-back, all right? And Konaté's form's been poor, so that's maybe been proved right. But right back, you've been putting Szoboszlai there, even though that didn't look like it was going to be a weak area, because you've got Conor Bradley and you've got Frimpong as well. But now, with this question mark over Mo Salah, with his current form, is that another area where maybe you didn't look at enough? Because you've got versatile players who can play there. We haven't got a natural right winger other than Salah.
Well, we are 1 senior forward short from last season. It's as simple as that, and a lot of the general public were talking about where the Liverpool players going to fit in, and now we're saying we're realising we are 1 short. So yeah, possibly, but I also think when Liverpool don't play well, Mohamed Salah automatically gets the blame. Everyone looks at him, and if you look at him carefully, he's normally got 2 players on him, if not 3 players on him. What he needs now is for the rest of the players to stand up a little bit, because I don't think his form is absolutely critical to Liverpool's form at the moment. I think the biggest problem we've got is in midfield. You talk about the right back position. I think that's a bit of a concern for me when I look back in the summer. Stylistically, we've signed Frimpong, who can't pass the ball out to the back 4, and you've got Conor Bradley, who's a phenomenal talent potentially, who again is a different type of player than Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think that's why he put Szoboszlai there, just to distribute the ball, just to get it out of the back 4. Because Konaté obviously can't do it, and Van Dijk there's always a man on him, so that ball, that outlet that we're missing from Trent is why Szoboszlai's been playing there.
Well, obviously Mark Gahey as well.
Yeah, they did try.
They
tried to get Mark Gahey, and sadly for Liverpool, happily for Crystal Palace, didn't happen on deadline day. Right, Peter, come on then. I was going to say your prediction for Sunday, but I suppose I better say, how many do you think you're going to win by on Sunday?
Calm down, please.
It's always a horrible game against Man United. We've had some big scorelines, but for me, I just want Liverpool to control the game, because no matter what we've done this season, we haven't controlled the game from start to finish. So if we win 2-0 and we control the game, that'll do me. So I'm thinking of a Super Sunday where I was a kid, Robbie Fowler banging in 2. If Isaac can do the same on Sunday, that'll do.
Yeah, I think when a 2-0 win, will do, it's a sign of a club that's actually doing very, very well.
We want Amad to stay in the job.
Oh, you calm down, jeez.
We've let him get a final dig in there at you, Leah.
I know he's already said we can't be mentioned in the same breath. As much as I'm, worried about the weekend, I'll never back against Man United, ever. I think my head and my heart's telling me two different things, Tom.
Go on then, what's your head saying?
Man United 2-1.
And heart? 3-1.
Not going to say. Law of attraction.
Right, OK. Peter, great to speak to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
By the way, we've got much more build-up to the game at